Hey guys, welcome back to Civil Learning Online. Today in this video I am going to discuss about simplex method. This is going to be an extra example on simplex method. In the previous video there were 3 equations and here we are going to have 4 equations on simplex method. So this is a bit different from what we have learned in the previous video. So without any further delay, let's get started. So guys, let's begin the solution of this video, writing solution here. So I'm going to write here solution, and I have mentioned in the previous video that I will add an extra example in which we will have 4 total number of rows and 3 inequalities excluding the objective function. This is our objective function, and here we have 3 which the objective function is subjected to these 3 inequalities. And if you have watched my previous video, then you know that in order to solve any in system of equations using the simplex method, we have to convert the inequalities into equations. So how we can convert inequalities into equations? So for simplex method there is a characteristics that we have to introduce some non-negative slack variables into the equation, which will help us to convert the inequalities into equation. In the previous video I have discussed about the definition and even told the example about what is slack variable and what is solve plus variable. If not, you can have a look here and you just pause the video and read it and note it down. You will understood it is written in very simple language. And now what we need to do is we have to convert these equations into inequalities into equations. So how we will do here? See, we have 3 equations, so we will introduce 3 negative slack variables. So I am going to write it down here, introducing. You can take it as any number. Suppose we have x1 x2, you can take it as x3 x4 x5. We have 3 inequalities equation excluding the objective function, so we have to take 3 non-negative slack variables. So we will have I'm going to take it as x3 x4 x5. So introducing x3 x4 and x5 as non-negative slack variables we have. So what we are going to have here? See here, we have 3 x1 plus x2 plus 1 times x3 plus 0 times x4 plus 0 times x5, and plus we are going to take this z also. So 0 times z equals to 12. Now due to the introduction of these non-negative slack variables, this inequality got converted into the equation. Now we have x1 plus x2 plus 0 times x3 plus 1 times x4 plus 0 times x5 plus 0 times z equals to, we will have 6. Now we have 5 x1 plus 3 x2 plus 0 times x3 plus 0 times x4 plus 0, this time it is going to be 1 times x5. Here 0 in first equation, x4 x3 will have coefficient 1. In second equation x4 will have coefficient 1. In third equation x5 will have coefficient 1, and 0 times z is going to be equals to 27. Now time for the objective function. In objective function, what we have to do is we have to take the coefficient, we have to bring these 2 elements to this side. So we will have here minus 3 x1 minus 2 x2 and plus z equals to 0. Our objective function is going to be, see here, our objective function here is maximize z equals to 3 x1 plus 2 x2. So while making it equation, writing it here, what we need to do is we have to write it as minus 3 x1 minus 2 x2 plus z equals to 0. So on doing so, what we will have here, minus 3 x1, I hope it is visible to you guys, minus 3 x1 minus 2 x2 and plus 0 times x3 plus 0 times x4 plus 0 times x5 plus 1 times z equals to 0. This it was our step 1. In step 1 we have introduced non-negative slack variables. Now it's time for step 2. In step 2 we will draw the initial tableau of the simplex method here. So we will write here step 2. Step 2, in step 2 we will write here initial tableau. And initial tableau, how we are going to draw initial tableau? See here, simply draw a line here, now after drawing the table, write x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and z. So we are going to write it here, x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and z, and the coefficients are 3, 1, 1, 0, 0, 0 and 12. And the second one is 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0 and 6. And again we have 5, 3, 0, 0, 1 and 0 and 27. And below this line we are going to write down the elements of the objective function, and that are minus 3, minus 2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. And here what are the basic variables? Here we have basic variables. So basic variables we have x3, x4, x5, x3, x4, x5. Now what we need to do is we have to look for the most negative elements, and you can see here in the elements lying below this line we have minus 3 most negative. Here among all the elements here, minus 3 is most negative than minus 2. So I am going to write here minus 3 is most negative than minus 2. So our first column is pivotal column. Now we have got the pivotal column. This is our pivotal column. Now what we need to do is we have to divide the elements by the numbers. So we will divide 12 by 3, 6 by 1 and 77 by 5. So as our first column is pivotal column, now what we need to do is we have to divide these elements by the elements of the pivotal column. So divide 12 by 3. 12 by 3 we get 4. Similarly 6 by 1 is equal to 6, and 27 by 5 equals to 5.45 or something. So here the least among these three values is 4. So 4, how the 4 came? 4 came by dividing 12 by 3. So this is our pivotal element. So as we can see, 4 among these 3, 4 is least. So what we are going to do here, 3 is pivotal element. Now in simplex method, what we need to do is we have to convert the pivotal element to unity. So we have to do an operation here, that is R1 implies R1 divided by 3. So this, if we divide the elements of R1 by 3, these 3 will get converted into unity. So that will be our step 3, and in step 3 we will apply operation in row 1. So write down here step 3, and in step 3 we do R1 implies R1 divided by 3. Now draw the table here like we have done previously. Draw a straight line long enough, and enter the values now. So first of all we will enter the variables, and our variables are x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and z, and the elements are 1, and we are dividing the elements of row 1 by 3. So the initially it was 3, so 3 is divided by 3, so we will get 1 here. Similarly we had initially 1, so 1 divided by 3 is going to be 1 by 3. Again it was 1, so 1 by 3. 0 divided by 3, 0, 0, 0, and 12 divided by 3 we will get 4. And rewrite the elements of row 1, row 2, row 3, row 4 as it is, and here we will have some changes. We initially there it were x3, x4, x5, and now we have got the pivotal element of row 1, and row 1 was first column, and the first column was corresponding to x1. So here we will have x1, and remaining will be as it is x4, x5, and the elements were 1, 1, 0, 1, 0, 0, 6, and here it is 27, 5, 3, 0, 0, 1, 0, and here we have -3, -2, 0, 0, 0, 1, 0. Now what we have to do is we have to convert the elements other than pivotal element to 0. We have converted this pivotal element as 3. It was 3 initially, so we have converted it to unity. Now we have to convert this 1, 5 and -3 as 0. So we need to apply some operations in these rows 2, 3 and 4. So in step 4 what we will do is R2 implies, how we can make this 1 to 0? If we subtract this R2, this 1 from here, then we will get it as 0. So R2 implies R2 minus R1. Similarly, how we can convert this 0? If we subtract 5 from here, it is positive 5. If we subtract 5 from here, then we can convert it to 0. So R3, this is R1, R1, R2 and R3. So R3 implies R3 minus 5 R1, it will get converted to 0. Now for R4, how we can convert R4 to element -3 as 0? If we add 3 here, so R3 implies R3 plus 3 R1. So now we will do this operation one by one in the table which I am going to draw here. So rewrite the elements as it is: x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, z, and we are doing operation on R2, R3 and R4. So we write the elements of R1 as it is. So it is 1, 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 0, 0, 0 and 4. Now we have to do operation on R2. So R2 element is 2 minus R1. So 1 minus 1 is going to be 0 here. 1 minus 1 by 3 is going to be 1. Here we have R2 means here we have, I am using this portion as rough. So 1 minus R1 is 1 by 3. So we will have here 2 by 3, write it here, and here it is going to be as it is x4 x5, and proceed with the formation of R2. So 0 minus 1 by 3 is going to be minus 1 by 3, and here 1 minus 0, 1 minus 0 is going to be 1, 0 minus 0, 0 minus 0, 6 minus 4 is going to be 2. And now time for R3. So R3 implies R3 minus 5 R1. R3 is 5, so 5 minus 5 times 1 is going to be 0. Similarly, we have again R3 means 3 minus 5 times R1 is 1 by 3. So 9 minus 5, 9 minus 5, 4 by 3. So we have here 4 by 3. Now we have 0. R3 means 0 minus 5 times 5, 1 by 3 means minus 5 by 3. Again we have here 0 minus 5 times 0 is going to be 0. You can see here 0 and 0. Again we have 1 minus 5 times 1 minus 5 times 0 is going to be 1, and here we have 0, and 27 minus 5 times 4 is going to be 7. Now we have here R4. R4 means R3 plus 3 times R1. R3 means we have, I'm going to write here 4. We are doing operation on 4, so R4 plus 3 times R1, it is going to be written as it is. So minus 3 plus 3 times 1, minus 3 plus 3 times 1 is going to be 0 here. Similarly, minus 2 plus 3 times 1 by 3, so minus 2 plus 1, minus 2 plus 1, so it is going to be minus 1. Similarly, we will have here 1 on doing, see here we have 0 plus 3 times 1 by 3, 0 plus 3 times 1 by 3, so 3 get cancelled, so 0 plus 1 is going to be 1. Similarly, we have 0 here, again 0, and again 1, and here we will have 0 plus 3 times R1 is 4, so 3 times 4 is 12, 0 plus 12 is 12. Now we have this element most negative here. Now we will write here second column is pivotal column, because here list most negative is minus 1, as minus 1 is most negative. So again the operation is going to be same. We have to divide 4 by 1 by 3. So here we will apply the law of reciprocal. So 4 times 3 by 1 will be equals to 12. Similarly, we need to divide 2 by 2 by 3 by 2 by 3. So 2 times 3 by 2 is going to be 3, and 7 divided by 4 by 5, so 35 means 7 times 5 by 4 means 35 by 4, 35 by 4. So 4 8 times on something we will have here. So list is 3. So how we got 3? We divided 2 by 2 by 3 means this is our pivotal element. You can find the correct exact value when you are solving this. Just multiply this and divide by 4, you will get exact value. But we have come to know that least value among these 3 is 3. So we have our main aim is to calculate the pivotal element, and we have come to know that 2 by 3 is pivotal element. So here 3 is list. Since 3 is list, so 2 by 3 is pivotal element. Now we have got the pivotal element. We will move to step 5, and in step 5 we will convert the pivotal element to unity. So if we multiply 2 by 3 by 3 by 2, we will easily convert this element to unity. So, and we all know that we can convert any number to unity either by multiplying or dividing, and we can convert any number to 0 by adding or subtracting. So now let's move to step 5. So in step 5 we are going to write here, we have come to know that our pivotal element was 2 by 3, which was in R2, and R2 is corresponding to x2. So this time we will replace x4 by x2, and we will apply operation on R2 as R2 multiply by 3 by 2, and we need to draw the table as we have been proceeding in this simplex method. So here we go. Here it was x4, and we are doing operation on R2, and we have come to know that our R2 by 3 was pivotal element. So this time, and pi 2 by 3 was corresponding to x2. So here we have x2, and we are doing operation on R2. So we are going to write the elements of R1, R3 and R4 as it is. So we have 1 by 3, 1 by 3, 0, 0, 0 and 4, and R2 means 0 is multiplied by 3 by 2, 0, and here we got 1, and minus 1 by 3 times 3 by 2 means minus 1 by 2, and here we will have 1 times 3 by 2 means 3 by 2, 0, 0, 2 times 3 by 2 means 3, and now we have x4. So for x4, we are doing operation on R2. So 0 as it is, 4 by 3 minus 5 by 3, 0, 1, 0 and 7, and here it is 0, minus 1, 1, 0, 0, 1 and 12. Now we have successfully converted the pivotal element to unity. Now our main aim is to convert the elements other than pivotal element to 0. So we have to convert this to 0. So I am going to write an operation here for R1 implies R1 minus 1 by 3 R2. Similarly for R3 it is going to be R3 implies R3 minus 4 by 3 R2. Similarly for R4, 4 by 3, and for R4 it is going to be R4 implies R4 plus R2. Now we need to do these operations here. So draw a table here. Draw a table here. We have x1, x2, x3, x4, x5 and z, and we are doing operation R1. So here we have x1, x2, x5, and no need to do the operation on R2. So I am going to write the element of R2 as it is. Zero, 0 and 3. Now we have R1 means R1 is 1 minus 1 by 3 into R2 is 0. So 1 minus 1 by 3 times 0 is going to be 1. Similarly here we will have 0 because 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 times 1. 1 by 3, R1 is 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 times 1 means 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 is going to be 0. Similarly here we will have here 1 by 3 minus 1 by 3 times R2 is minus 1 by 2. So here we will get, on solving we will get value 1 by 2. If you ask me how, then let me show you. R1, we have R1 equals to 1 upon 3 minus 1 by 3 times R2 is minus 1 by 2. On solving this, these 2 minus will get plus, and on LCM we will have 6. So 3, 2 plus 1 is going to be 3 upon 6. So 1 upon 2, you know, and here we will have minus 1 by 2 unsolving, and here 0 0 and 3. Similarly, on doing operation on R third row, that is R3 minus 4 by 3 R2. R3 is 0 minus 4 by 3 times 0 is going to be 0 here, and 4 by 3 R3 is 4 by 3 minus 4 by 3 times 1. 4 by 3 minus 4 by 3 times 1 is going to be 0 here. Similarly, we have minus 5 by 3 and minus 4 by 3 times R2 is minus 1 by 2. Minus 1 by 2 is going to be, this 2 will get plus, and we will have here minus 5. LCM is 6, so 6 minus 5 times, we can divide this, and we will have minus 5 plus 2 means minus 3 by 6. We will get minus 1 by 2, so we will have here minus here it is 3, so we will have here minus 1, so we will write here minus 1. Similarly, on solving this, we will get minus 2 1 0 3, and here we will have 0 0 and R4 plus R2 means minus 1 plus 1 means 0. 1 minus 1 by 2 we will get 1 by 2. 0 plus 3 by 2 is 3 by 2 0, and here 1, and 12 plus 3 is 15. So this was our final step, because we didn't got any negative values below this line, which were the element of the principal function. So we will write here max. In the question we had z, so max z equals to 3 times x1 value is 3 plus 2 times x2 value is 3. We will get 9 plus 6 equals to 15, and this is z. Max z is also 15. This was actually the checking. This was check, and we had x1 equals to 3, x2 equals to 3, and max z equals to 15 at x1 equals to 3 and x2 equals to 3. And later, first after this, we will need to write this line, and then we need to show this checking. And I hope this video was helpful to all of you guys. If you really enjoyed this video, then do share this video with your friend. See you in the next video. Till then, stay safe and take care of yourself, and do not forget to subscribe Civil Learning Online channel if you do not want to miss any updates.